Welcome to this brand new episode of the Compete Everyday Podcast, kicking off a brand new day as we talk about how to run your day instead of letting your day run you. Let's go! Good morning, competitor. Jake Thompson here, your Chief Encouragement Officer, and I'm so incredibly excited that you are joining me today for episode 300 of the Compete Everyday Podcast. I can't believe that we've been recording 300 episodes over the last few years, getting ready to finish April strong and kick off May, which is our 10-year anniversary. And man, it's been a fun ride. There's been a lot of lessons. I've done a lot of things well. I've done a lot of things very poorly. But I've learned along the way that one of the keys to success is to just keep showing up. It's to be curious, to learn what you don't know, to be curious and figure out how you can get better. And most importantly, just keep showing up, figuring things out. If you don't know where you want to go or what goal you want to achieve, just keep showing up every day trying to get better. If you find that adversity and challenges keep jumping in your path, just keep showing up until you wear them down. The key to winning at life, the key to succeeding in your career, the key to really anything is to keep showing up and competing to be better than you were the day before. Even if it's just 1% better, that still counts. One step forward still counts. Anything is better than nothing. So make sure today that you find a way to show up and compete, to get a little bit closer, to wear down that adversity a little bit more, to be a better competitor tomorrow morning when you wake up than you were today when you woke up. I'm so excited you're here, whether this is your first episode with the Compete Everyday Podcast or you've been with me along this journey. I just want to thank you for being here. I'm excited to talk to you today about how to better run your day. Because a lot of us, man, our schedule is running us ragged. And finding time to get better, man, it's so elusive. So we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to share a little bit of what I do to take control of my schedule, to tighten my focus on what really matters. But before I do, I want to remind you about the Morning Competitor Club. Man, I love it. There's thousands of you in this starting the day with me. I'm sending a message every morning to encourage, empower, or equip you to show up and compete that day. Simple message and occasionally some behind the scenes looks as well. But if you would love to start the day on a better note, if you would love to start the day with a better mindset, a better focus to show up and compete today, do me a favor, text the word podcast to 972-945-9113. That's 972-945-9113. You'll automatically be added to our text community and you will get text messages direct from me. There's no automation, there's no scheduling, there's no robots. It is me here on out, and I cannot wait to start tomorrow morning encouraging you, empowering you, equipping you so that you show up and compete for your one and only life. Now, let's get into this brand new episode, number 300 of the Compete Everyday Podcast, talking about how to take back control of your day and start being a better competitor with your schedule. Listen, I get it, competitor. We're busy. We're always busy. You would have thought that the more technology we had at our fingertips, the easier schedules would be. The easier it would be to run our life, the more advanced our iPhones or Androids get. But for most of us, that open space in the calendar is something that has to be filled. We pack our morning with everything that experts say we do. We wake up at 4 o'clock. We fill it with meditation and coffee and reading and productivity and checking our emails and scheduling social media and doing everything we can before 8 o'clock. And then we're hitting the ground running on the rest of our days. We fill our nights with social time, with networking events. Weekends, man, if you're a parent, those are soccer games and t-ball games. If you're single, those are social outings, watching games and sports, being out and about with your friends. Finding a good 2 hours in our calendar to get things done for our goals, it's pretty much impossible for a lot of people. Our calendars are so full of fat. Things that we don't actually need to do, things that we probably, if we're honest, don't even want to do, but somehow we feel obligated to do it. And so when we look at our schedule, we think to ourselves, we tell ourselves that we just don't have time for our goals. We don't have time in the calendar to invest in our growth, to get better. which is true. You don't have the time. I don't have the time. But if you want to be a champion, you learn to make the time. No one has the time, but champions find a way to make the necessary time. Whether we realize it or not, we control our schedule and what we allow to go on in it. Most times we simply just fill it up instead of being careful with how we control it and how we fill it out. It's our time. It's the only thing that we're going to give that we're never going to get back. We need to treat it as such. It's a finite, limited resource. So how are we spending it? One of the things that I've learned to do, because I was in this habit for years of trying to take on the day when the day started, trying to take on the week once I was already into it. I had an idea in my head of things I wanted to get done, when I was going to kind of work out, when I was going to fit this in. And like a lot of times when we just keep things in our head, when we don't actually make schedules for them, the things we want to do get pushed and pushed and pushed by the wayside until there's no time left to do it. And then we start that whole cycle all over again the next week. And so what I had to train myself to do, and I'm hoping you find this encouraging and helpful as well, is every Sunday I'll review my week ahead. I try to let this be the only little bit of work that I do on Sundays, taking that as my rest day from a training standpoint and from a work standpoint. I like to read, I try to recharge, I spend time with friends, with family, but I try to let Sundays be that day. But the thing I will do on Sundays is prep. And you can do this on Sunday night, or you can do this on Friday afternoon at the end of the week, or Saturday. You pick how and where on your schedule you're going to make time for this. But what I do is I sit down on Sunday morning and I outline the one big project I want to make progress on this week or finish. What's the one thing I need to chip away every day at? I then look at my calendar and what meetings and appointments are already in the books, what I already have plans for. I write down the 3 key things I want to achieve Monday morning. What are the 3 most important tasks I need to get done Monday morning? And then I put it in my calendar. I actually block out time in the schedule for those important things. So if you were to look at my schedule, you would see every single morning from 8:30 to 9 a.m. I'm prospecting. I'm building our sales list for speaking opportunities with clients and with conferences. Every single morning I'm doing that. There's time in there where I'm writing every single day. And then throughout the week, you'll see I schedule blocks for maybe writing one of the email newsletters that you read on the Compete Everyday website. Maybe it's planning out, man, what do I want to encourage and empower people with on social media this week? But I set time in that schedule just as I set time for a meeting, just as I set time to go train. I don't wait to see, I want to see how the day goes before I try to squeeze this in, even though I said it's important. If it's important to me on Sunday to get done on Monday, I schedule time on Monday's calendar to go get it done. And it's not perfect. There's some days that schedule change, but I know if I've committed to this block from 11 to 11:30 or from 2 to 3, the chances of me achieving and accomplishing that work during that period go up exponentially. And the last thing I do in that schedule is I block out time for me. I block out time, when am I going to read? When am I going to take my wife out on a date? When am I going to hit the gym? I make sure I schedule time in there for me. And it probably sounds selfish, right? Somebody listening to this, not new to the Compete Everyday brand, is thinking, man, you're one selfish dude, Jake. Scheduling time for you? Boy, that doesn't sound like somebody who's striving to do great things, trying to get better. You don't sound like somebody that runs a big company or is out speaking. No, you sound like just a selfish person, blocking out time to go do your own thing. But here's something we've talked about before. It's not selfish for you to create space and make space in your calendar for what recharges and builds you. I need time, just like everyone else, to recharge and grow so that I can be at my best for everyone else. If I don't create that space in my calendar, then what I'm showing up as for my clients, for my spouse, for my friends is less than what I could be showing up as. And if I'm choosing to not show up and give them my best, I'm essentially raising my hand and looking them in the eye and telling them, I'm going to cheat you of what I could be giving to this. Because I didn't do the work, I didn't create the space, I didn't recharge and prepare for this moment. So it's not selfish, it's actually quite selfless to invest time to better yourself, to read a new book that's going to make you mentally stronger, maybe better conversationally or more equipped for your career. It's selfless to create space in your schedule to go to the gym, to improve your health, which not only improves your mindset and how you show up in the world, but it builds your confidence, it builds your skills, and it gives you the energy to go longer throughout the day, to give more of yourself throughout the day. You make meetings with yourself because that's the most important meetings you can have. But for a lot of us, our schedules are so bloated, so fat with crap that we don't ever actually sit down and look through it and say, man, what do I actually need to cut out? Where can I make time for really what matters to me, whether it's my investment in my growth, my relationships, my training? You need to do it. You got to take back control of your schedule before the week starts, because if you have an idea going into the week of what your schedule is going to be, how you're going to attack each and every day, what your targets are to hit, then you can start running your day. Then you can start walking into the day with confidence, with swagger, that you're going to show up and compete because you have short little targets to hit that day. You have control of your schedule. You're not just trying to see what's going to happen in the day. You're showing up and doing what you need to do to get better. But that starts with you cutting the fat out of your schedule and taking back control of your calendar. Don't give me the excuse. Hell, don't even give yourself the excuse. If I have time, I'll do that. Because you'll never have time. Your schedule's never going to free up to where it's just going to magically give you things. Sit down and make the time this week. Make the time this Monday afternoon, if you're listening to this, for Tuesday, for Wednesday, for Thursday, for Friday. Look at the next few days. Figure out, how am I going to block out every hour of my day? Giving myself space for lunch, for transitions, for training, for reading, for sales, for job, for family. Set time for it, so that you can attack it instead of wasting the most limited resource you have, hoping that more of it appears on your calendar. Because it won't. If it's important to you, you make the time for it. And as a competitor, investing in yourself, your relationships, and your growth needs to be important to you if you want to be a champion. If you don't, then just keep letting your schedule fill up until there's no room for anything else. But if you're committed to pursue your victory, then show up, make the time, schedule it today, and then go win the rest of your week. I'm cheering for you, competitor. Get after your week. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Compete Everyday Podcast. To listen to past episodes, be sure to check out podcast.competeeveryday.com. And to get in touch with the show, email us at podcast@competeeveryday.com. Everybody wants to win, but not everybody's willing to compete for that victory. Since you're one who will, show up today and win. We're cheering for you.